everyone out there. Welcome to Nia Talk Business. I am, of course, Nia, your host, and welcome. Tonight, we will be talking about how you take an idea to formulating a product. Um, Nia Talk Business is about vision, ideas, and how you take those vision and ideas to actually formulating them into a reality. Um, Tonight, the show will be talking about how vision meets execution, um, and what that really looks like to bring an idea to life. Because let's be real, everyone talks about starting a brand, but not everyone actually starts. And my guest tonight, she did just that. She's the founder of Romona Skin, a skincare brand born from personal struggle, healing, and the need to create something bigger than herself. From battling PCOS to formulating her own products and finding her lane in the beauty industry, she's showing us tonight that you don't have to have it all figured out to begin. And so, whether if you're a dreamer, a builder, or someone sitting in that someday idea, this one is for you. Let's talk about what it really takes to start before you're actually ready. And tonight, I am going to introduce you to Taylor, the founder of Ramona Skin. So, welcome, Taylor, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Hello. Hey, girl. How you doing?
Taylor, if you want to just drop your social handles so everybody, because people like to put faces to the voice. So if you can just drop your Instagram handles to your business and your personal.
Yes. Okay. So, business is at Romona Romona Skin, and then my personal brand page is at as told by underscore Taylor, and I spell my name Taelor.
Okay. Well, thank you, Taylor, again for being with us tonight. I know you are on the East Coast, well, Midwest, and it is,
Midwest.
yes,
Yes.
it's 11 p.m. out there right now, and I'm in Arizona, and it's 8 p.m. So yeah. So let's get into it. I'm so excited
Yes,
to have
ma'am.
you on because um people underestimate the ability to execute an idea. And I know that, like, we went back and forth a little bit, and I wanted to have you on, but I was going to have you on, we were going to talk about a different topic. But I was like, you know what, people really, like, there's so many people out there, like, I have a vision, I have an idea, but I never pull the plug. Like, people don't actually pull the plug to actually, make their ideas come to reality. So to have you open up to share with us how you actually built your own brand, I'm so ecstatic, and let's just get into it. So you have
Absolutely.
a skincare. So is it a skincare line, or is it a brand? Like, because I want to make sure that I'm introducing it right.
Right. Well, first, I would just want to say thank you for having me. This
Mhm.
is great. I'm excited. So, Ramona Skin, will say it's a startup basically, but in what it is, it's a skincare and wellness brand.
Okay.
So, because we think of just kind of like future tense, there in that I'll just stay in that realm of things. When we start selling different things that are more on the wellness side. So, and also because of like the type of ingredients and things and my formulas, it is essentially like, yes, a skin and a wellness brand.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so what type of products do you actually sell, just so that people out there can get an idea what we're talking about?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I created a four-step method called the Ramona method, and it's a skincare brand specifically for women who suffer with hormonal acne. So the acne like beyond puberty, if you're still like in your late 20s, 30s, 40s, still getting breakouts, still just having problematic skin. A lot of the times it's something going on internally, and a lot of people don't realize it's hormonal. And if you think about it, when you walk down the aisle at a store, you don't really see products that are targeted that specifically say like for women with hormonal skin issues, for PCOS. So I just felt like that was needed in such a what they call an oversaturated industry. I feel like I found like my niche in skincare. Um, it's functional skincare. It's skincare that gets down to the source of things. Essentially, it's an adaptogenic skincare, meaning like I use a lot of herbs, a lot of like mushrooms and ashwagandha, um, and things like that. So
Okay.
it's a very unique, I feel,
Brand,
and very
yeah.
innovative, in my
Okay.
opinion. Yeah.
So what made you say I'm going to start my own skincare line? Was this something that you were battling personally, or like, like were you did you experience anything in your personal life that actually made you pull that trigger to say, okay, I need to start my own skincare line?
Yeah. So essentially, like, okay, by trade, I'm an esthetician, and I offered full facial services full time between like 2019 and 2023.
Okay.
Um, but even though, I mean, I just basically in school, I took what I learned in school, and I really just learned like more outside of school, and so I started applying different types of techniques that other uh, estheticians weren't may not know how to do or like apply. They were more of like an Eastern medicine holistic type of way. So I
Hmm.
was doing that full time. I used to make up little like mask and different types of soaps. It was more so of like a apothecary when I
Hmm.
was making products at first. Um, and then I just kind of like learned that healing with my hands was my purpose and is my purpose. So I wanted to take it a little step further, and I started taking like online certifications for um, formulating, certified formulator, cosmetic and skincare. I have my herbalist certification. And so just wanting to make sure I had that knowledge and that background and education before I went into it all the way.
Okay.
But it also, yes, it did also start from my own personal experiences.
Hmm.
Um, but I would
So
say,
when
go
you
ahead.
say it started from your own personal experiences, I mean, I know you say you went to school,
Mm-hmm.
and then you opened up your own like esthetician business where you were actually servicing women or all people, and you were providing services where you were doing facials and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I was providing facials and creating like regimens for people,
Okay.
and just
How was that going? Did you see any changes with people when you were using other people's products?
I feel like yes and no. So yes to a certain it only went so far with the products that I was using before I started making my own. Because what I had to get good at was I got really good at knowing what product paired with what that was already out there on the market. But
Okay.
that can sometimes be trial and error with people's skin. Everybody's skin is different. And
Hmm.
so I may have gotten it right the first time or it may have taken two times. But I
Okay.
was like, how can I like, figure out where they're already coming to me for the service, the information, the consultation, all of the things. So how can I provide them skincare too that aligns with what I'm suggesting for them to help heal their skin?
Okay.
So yeah.
So when you said that you did have your own actual like you went through something yourself that actually made you say, okay, let me start working on my own products. Did you experience issues with hormone, how do you say it? Um
Hormonal acne
yeah, did
or
you
just hormonal imbalance. Yes, yes, yes. So you got 2019, 23, 2023. Boom. Fast forward, it's 2023. It's post COVID. I'm also like 2 years post um going into labor, and I had to deliver. I had a stillborn daughter.
Okay.
That stemmed from hormonal issues,
Mhm.
and come to find out I was diagnosed with PCOS, and just a very dark moment, a traumatic moment in my life. And I would just feel like I had to do something to, I don't know, honor what I
Mm.
could honor in that situation. And so I just literally like hyper focused into hormone health, like for 3 years straight. Like I had to
Mhm.
find the reason why. Why did this happen to me? How can I prevent it from happening to me? I know other people, through research and things, you learn that like 1 out of 4 women are having this same issue or
So
experiencing this same trauma.
what is PCOS?
So PCOS in itself is polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Okay.
It's a hormonal imbalance disorder.
Okay.
But there are 4 types of PCOS. A lot of people don't know that either. So I feel like that's another thing. It's just not a lot of knowledge and information out there. Even when it comes to a management plan from a healthcare physician,
Mhm.
they don't do a lot of research on hormonal disorders, and so they normally are just, well, one, it takes like 5 visits to get actually diagnosed. You get a lot of times you get told you don't have it, or because they're not giving you the proper blood test, blah blah blah. But you get told, okay, well, here's some birth control. They don't really have to me, a safe management plan in place to really help women. So there's a lot of women, 1 out of 4, suffering with PCOS or suffering with just hormonal imbalance symptoms. It may not necessarily be full PCOS, but have absolutely no idea how to really manage it. And
And
that was me. And so
so with PCOS, this is it's basically triggering from internal, right? And
yes, it's triggering from your, what you call your endocrine system, which is your, where all of your hormones function and like help and work with other organs in your body. So yes, and other systems of your body.
okay. So so before you ever actually made a product, you've experienced all of this, right? Like, you've already been helping people with skin, and then you experienced this with your labor. And I'm sorry to hear that. And thank you so much for being so vulnerable to share that.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
triggered this PCOS. And so before you actually ever even made a product, what was your vision? What did you want women to actually feel? Like, what were you trying to heal the PCOS, or like what were you getting? Like, what was your vision? Like, how were you going to be able to heal the PCOS? Because if it's internal, how would a product heal PCOS or this hormonal acne if it's just something being triggered from internally?
Well, so okay, so let me back up just real quick so that way the story doesn't get all. But so I did sell products prior to uh, founding Ramona. It was just more of, it was like my esthetician service. It was Skin I'm In Beauty Bar, and I sold like apothecary type of like natural like turmeric soaps and things that were kind of like a lot real got real trendy at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so when I went through that period and pregnancy, all the things, and became diagnosed with PCOS, well, the products that I was making prior, it no longer really just worked for my skin, because now I have something different. I have a hormonal acne. Hormonal skin is way different from just regular acne.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time like I when in one of the program accelerated programs I was in, business program, we had what you call like a hot seat, where they kind of like audit your brand after you launch. And one of the ladies, she worked for like some big like beauty brand, and she basically told me, she was like, she explained why she liked my brand, and was basically like, you have something that a lot of people don't have. She was like, this X brand has spent millions of dollars trying to crack the code on hormonal skin, and they haven't yet. And so I'm like, that like felt really good, because I feel like I'm really trying to do a service to women who are overlooked in skincare, in just hormonal health management period. I feel like Ramona became more, because it was, I'm sure I'm basically building this through me, my story, but also trying to make sure I'm speaking to and honoring other people, who other women, or all people who are suffering from the same hormonal issue.
Right.
Um, and so I had to then like, okay, I got to create something that's gonna work. This what I had no longer works, and so basically I used that opportunity to like scrap it, start over.
Mm.
And I that also helped me rebuild me.
Mm.
Building a brand, it like it exposes you to you, the good, the bad, the ugly. And so
Mhm.
I feel like I also like brick by brick as I built this brand, brick by brick, I'm rebuilding myself. I'm still in that season of just like
Right.
reformation, transformation, a rebirth. I don't know, like that's how I feel.
Right. So, how did you go from idea to actual product? Like, what was the first step? Like,
Okay.
because actually having an idea is one thing, but to actually go from idea to product, like, what was your first step?
Well, the first step was to find a new name.
Mm,
I had to, you learn things that you don't know. And what I learned was, I wasn't really running previously. I wasn't really running what I call a true business. There didn't have really any structure, any foundation. And so
an actual business, or you didn't have an actual brand, or both?
both,
Okay.
both. I feel like you kind of got you get caught up in like the copy paste of what you see on like social media, because you're like this. I'm the first person in my family. Uh, Trying to do this. I mean, I have like one person in my family I could say who like is an entrepreneur, So when you don't come from that or know the ins and outs, you just kind of wing it.
Yeah.
But we're here. So I said I feel like I needed just a very timeless name,
Okay.
um, simple, something that's gonna people will remember. So
Mm,
one word, one name,
okay.
something with real meaning behind it. Because Ramona just it means wise protecting hands in the Bible. So and that I mean essentially, I have healing hands. I got the recipes.
So,
So
so before you, so you had this idea, like, okay, I'm gonna go into hormonal acne,
hmm
and you said, okay, let me come up with the name first. But did you already have the product before you came up with the rebranding?
no,
Oh,
all so what I had was like a few years, a lot of research. I mean, a lot of
how, how,
research
how long did you research before you actually said, okay, it's time to pull the trigger to start my first
from
product, like that first
yeah
product?
from 2021 to 2023. I
Okay.
sat there and just researched and studied and learned and just all. I mean, you should see my notebooks. I have tons of notebooks, like um, and just I did that because I'm the type of person I need to understand and be very knowledgeable about something before I'm like trying to make a product and sell it to someone because I just don't believe in selling shitty products for money. Like,
Mhm.
and it gets boring when you just do shit for money. So I'm trying to like literally do something with passionately, the
Right.
money comes just because, but really do something for that's not what's really going on nowadays in business. People just trying to sell something for a quick buck. I don't want to do that. So I'm
So,
like, let me know what I'm talking about, especially this is people's skin and health we're talking about, like
yeah,
I'm not just going to be winging this. And
right.
so
And with
um
actually having the skin in the game, as you know, you first started actually being an esthetician and doing the facials, and seeing that the formulas that you were using with other brands, and you were seeing actually like, okay, this product isn't good, this product isn't good. So you're actually able to see, let me put my own twist on this because this.
absolutely, yeah, you
So
got that's right.
what were some of the hardest moments in the process, like finding the formulas, the packaging, the funding? Because I just want to make it clear here, like, you have a lot of information
hmm
packed in that brain, and I can tell, I can hear it, I can feel it. But the process, see, what I want people to understand is that when you have an idea, you have a vision, but then that vision becomes so clear that the idea just strikes. Once you
hmm
the idea, you have to put the motion behind the idea. So so that it just doesn't become a fairy tale. So now you've actually put it into motion. Now you're executing.
Mhm.
So the process, and actually you create a brand, you create a product. See, you can have a brand and you can sell any product, but you actually have a brand and you have your own formula. So this
Mhm.
is a big deal. This isn't just like us just talking about you taking somebody else's product and slapping your name on it. um,
Mhm.
you did the work. And I want people out there to go and look up ramonaskin.com, and check it out, because it really is something beautiful that she has brought into fruition here. But when you because there's people out there listening, and I want people to be able to, if you have a vision, these are the steps that you have to take in order to make your dreams into reality. So when you were in the process of building your brand, what are some of the hardest moments in the process? Like I said, finding the formulas, the research, the packaging, the funding, or the confidence. And speaking about,
Whew, a little bit of everything. So so I'll just get right into that. So okay, so we're here. We have the name. All right.
mhm.
Now, I'm taking, and
How
and
long
I
did
just
it take for you to actually say, okay, this is the name that I'm going with?
uh probably like 30 days. Like I randomly came up with it at like 3 a.m. Like it just came to me, and I was stressed about it. Like when I had finally decided, this is mind you, this is like June of 2023,
Hmm.
when I finally made the decision, like, all right, this is what we're doing this, because I had got really like just uh detached from my old brand. I was already like detached and had really moved on
Oh,
from that. I
just to
slowed
be
down on selling the products. I slowed down on providing services because I was so wrapped up in what I was trying to create,
okay. So
Ramona.
you rebranded. This is a
Yeah.
whole rebrand that we're talking about here. This
Yeah.
this is
I call it a, but I call it a brand. I don't even like to call it a rebrand because I don't feel like it was a true brand at all. And it was,
but it was.
mm, all right, okay.
I remember Skin I'm in. Remember that, and a lot of people loved it. I mean, a
They
lot
know they
of
did.
people
No,
were
I sold great products. I think of, I'm just thinking of like Taylor, Skin I'm in Taylor and Ramona Taylor. Now I've definitely
I know
I've
what you
definitely
I
grown, and
know,
I'm
but
like, ooh, I was not running a
it
brand, but
is
ooh,
a rebrand, though. It is a rebrand.
okay, okay, okay.
It is. You came back stronger, and I mean, because this is what we do. Entrepreneurs, it's okay to go back to the drawing board to be better. And that's what you did. And that's what we're here celebrating right now, that you actually had the muscle to say, okay, I'm going to detach what from what, because when you start your first brand, it's your baby. It's like,
You're
I
right,
am in love with this. I don't want to change the name. So to be able to have
girl. I was like, we doing this over. You hear me?
change your name is a big deal. So
Yeah,
that's
it
what I want
is.
to say. Like, what was the hardest? What was it hard for you to actually change your name? Like, was it like,
No, no,
okay,
no. It was. I was in such alignment with what I was really supposed to be doing.
okay,
When I say, I'm like, the only thing I'm stressed about is the new name. Like, what's the new name going to be? I don't want it to be this anymore.
okay,
So that's the stress. That was the stressful part. I stressed
okay.
myself out, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna relax.
So in the
I'm just
process,
gonna let it come to me organically. God, just go ahead and give it to me, and then it just randomly came. And I said, well, why that? Because also I study other brands, big brands, and I notice in their brand identity, in their branding,
mm-hmm,
it's very simple. You got like Fenty Skin, it's topicals,
mm-hmm,
Hyperskin,
mm-hmm,
Road.
mm-hmm,
Like out, and I envision myself being as big as those brands. I
hmm.
envision myself being Alore's beauty product of the year. I mean, I'm delusional. I really believe that this is going to happen for me. And
Oh,
so,
you have to be a dreamer for sure. But I really want to know the answer to this. What were some of the hardest moments in the process?
Okay.
Finding formulas, the packaging, or the funding? Because remember, we were on Nia Talk Business, and I want people, listeners out there that may have a vision but afraid to pull the plug. I want them to understand that when you're building a brand, you can run into roadblocks, and to how to um get over those hurdles that you run into, and to not look at a roadblock as, oh, I have to stop here. So when you were in the process, okay, we talk about, changing the name and
Yeah.
how
So
30 days, but
right.
because you have a really nice brand. It took a lot
Thank you.
of work. I see it. So the packaging, the formulas, and to do all that you've done, it took money. So what,
Hmm.
and to also feel confident enough to stand behind your product.
Hmm.
Confidence is not something that a lot of people out there have great, amazing ideas, but they don't have the confidence to actually stand behind their brand, or to be, because you're even the face of your brand, which is another big deal. And to share your experience with your PCOS, and to share this with people is a big deal. So what are some of the hardest moments? I have to pull this out of you.
Yes. Okay.
What are
Okay.
the hardest
So
moments
the
in the process of building this brand?
okay. So the hardest moments, like starting, would be like, um, I have my formulating background already, right? So that wasn't thing, but what it was like how to figure out how to build prototypes, taking the research that I have with my aesthetics knowledge and my personal journey, and trying to figure out how to source these different types of raw ingredients that I've never sourced before.
Mm,
Making sure that they it makes sense, like money wise. So as far as money, like I said, okay, I need some money, right? So I'm like, well, going to get a loan just that wasn't that didn't work for me in that moment. It
mm,
just that just so I I don't know what to call it. I just always find myself like researching and just seeing certain things and then digging deeper into them. Like sometimes I'll catch something on social media and then I'll go be like, and go dig deep into it. And what I ran into was like things about capital
oh,
and capital venture capitalist funding, and I'm like, and then you got the whole like statistics about how black founders, or you know we're a marginalized group, so we don't get a lot of the capital funding that's out there, but still not impossible, right? So then dug a little deeper, and luckily it's sometimes it's also all about who you know. So I was able to um learn about this accelerator program that was accepting applications for their first cohort, and it was a local accelerator program, and they were to provide capital funding for startup CPG brands,
mm,
so package consumer packaged goods. So I applied, I won, and
mm,
with that I was able to get a pre-seed funding. I was able to get pre-seed funding, and that allowed me to jump right into product development.
mm.
And then also I was assigned like three people um, to, assist me in that product development process. And
That,
so,
like, what is the product development
so the
process?
product development process is, so you source the ingredients, right? You source the bottle in itself, and then
Like your pack.
while the packaging, I feel like is the the bottle and the packaging. I feel like, I don't know, I make that two separate things, because it's like I even had to like learn about like what brand identity was. I didn't know what that was. Like that's why my brand is just like, it's a real brand, because I feel like I learned all the things that people don't know that they need, or all the things they feel like is
So
stupid,
what
or
is
like.
brand identity?
So brand identity is like your own brand look. It's not just a logo, it's not just pretty photo shoot. It is like your brand voice, the way your brand
How you make people feel?
it makes them like, yeah, it makes them, how they
What
make them feel
people
down to the color.
what
What'd you
people
say?
feel when they see you, how people feel when they see Ramona, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And so,
So it seems like that you have not had any hiccups or nothing
no, that's
with
not true.
you.
Mm-mm.
So it's kind of been just like your so I basically feel like, when you life, when you go through things, it's for the good. So you basically went through all of these things, PCOS and all of this stuff, and to create this thing. So it's like
Hmm.
everything is just basically falling in your lap, you know what I
Not
mean?
necessarily, no, because when I got into the program, like
Okay.
although I'm thankful for the team that I was assigned to me, I just felt like we were the first, and it was like stretched. With
Okay.
those people that were assigned to me were assigned to the other winners too, and it was stretched thin.
Okay.
So a lot of the times I was taking a little bit of what I was learning in between and going and looking deep, like diving deep further with the
Mhm.
little, the knowledge that I was given, and then kind of like learning as I go. Like, so learning what a brand strategy is, a marketing strategy. I didn't know any of this. Learning that like once I formulate these products, I need to be sending this formulations off to a what you call a certified ISP lab, like a where dermatologists and chemists test your formulation to, because you technically don't have to be regulated by the FDA,
Mhm.
but it's just better for the brand, better for brand like to build trust with your
So are your products like,
two
did you
two
send your
out of four, two out of four, because it costs $20,000. It costs $20,000.
See,
Yeah.
this is good knowledge. This because people out there that do want to create their own skincare line, and hopefully one day we see your products in Sephora, we see your products all over the market, and
Hmm.
so and somebody out there, some young girl, some woman, some man, somebody out there has products, and this is the process that you do have to go through when you are wanting to build a brand. You do have to understand brand identity. You do have to understand marketing. If you do have a product like Ramona, you do have to understand all this shit that she's saying, because this is a big deal. Um, but out of all the things that you did do with this funding company that you were working with, which what is the name of this? How did you find them?
So I know, I want to say, believe so. She's like, okay, so I know the founder. She's, well, co-founder, because again, I used to service clients and she was one of my clients.
Wow.
So yeah, and so that was when I was skin I'm in. So all about who you know, networking and meeting the right people, and meeting people that believe in your vision, believe in your vision. So she co-founder of a nonprofit, um, Be Nimble,
Mhm.
and she
What is
also
it
it
again? What's the name of it?
the nonprofit is Be Nimble.
Okay.
The accelerator program was called Add to Cart,
Mhm.
and we were the first cohort of the program. And
Mhm.
so I learned a lot. There was, like any first of anything, there's growing pains and things like that. There's things that could have went way better, but I'm still thankful for the opportunity. I'm still thankful for the funding, and I took what I got from that, and try to multiply it and apply it. I feel like going through that program, it was also just, it was more than business development. It was like, I'm telling you, it was like personal development. It just,
No,
building a brand is not for the weak. Like that shit will,
that's true.
it put me in even depressive episodes because it
Well,
took so long.
a lot of people don't really understand that when you are like, you can go to somebody and say, "Hey, what did you do to build this brand?" And you can tell somebody the steps. Oh, no, let me rewind. Somebody will say, "How do I make a lot of money?" You can tell them how to make the money, but they don't realize that it's a lot that goes into making the money. So I understand totally what you're saying, but you went through all of that. But what did you do right that you're proud of, even if it didn't look perfect at the time?
I'm proud of, I mean, I am absolutely proud that I followed through because it was
Mm,
many moments in building this that I wanted to just give up. There were a lot of challenges that I faced that I felt like I didn't know if I was going to figure it out, and but I did, and so I'm absolutely proud of myself. I got to get, better than that. Like when you want something so bad and then you get it, and then it's like, okay, what's next? You don't kind of. I'm learning to stop, take my time, and kind of like take it all in,
yeah.
because I literally worked so hard on this brand that like 6 months into launch, like I had like got like burnt out, like flight or fight, and my nervous system was shot. Like I literally had to sit my ass down.
This goes
And
into my next question.
okay.
How did you figure out what it means to be a founder and not just a creator? Now, let
Hmm.
me specify before you answer. So, you created you had these formulas, you're an artist.
Hmm.
To separate and to understand and just to distinguish what a founder is and not just a creator, how did you figure out what it means to be a founder and not just a creator?
I feel like the founder mindset is like being a founder wasn't about like selling a jar. It was about building like it's about building a vision that I could scale,
Mm-hmm.
without
And
that I
mind
could
you,
scale.
you've done this all by yourself, right?
Yeah, like yes, yes. I don't, because like nobody makes my products. Nobody. I don't have any type of like white label or like manufacturing company currently formulating my products. These are all formulated by me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I that alone, yes, I feel like it's amazing. I truly feel like it's amazing. Like amazing. I toot my own horn. I love that for me. But at the same time, you also it takes a little bit longer. I feel like to build that trust and that rapport with people, because like people just look at like a team and things of such, like more of like a real brand. So you got to do a lot of like proving yourself in a positive way though, like through like brand awareness and just through you know like telling you like what are actually in these products, and
How
just
well, see, that's my dilemma right there. Like I kind of got to stop you there because it doesn't matter how small or how big the brand is. See, and that's what I mean by separating yourself from being a founder and a creator, because like I think that may be like creators like mindset, because when I look at your brand, I don't know if it's 100 people, 100 million people running the brand. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So that I
so
think
for you
that's.
to say that you have to find trust, that they
Hmm.
feel like that people have to trust you because it's only you, people
Hmm.
don't know that. So when I say like, how do you distinguish, like how do you separate yourself from being a founder and just not just a creator? Like that right there, like
I feel like I separate myself because I didn't let just because it's just me. Um, because it's just me, I feel like I can still have a brand like the big brands. So basically, like I'm like I need to learn all of the ins and outs of foundation, what it takes to actually have a business, the foundation of the business, the actual structure of a business, what it means to sell a product, what a profit margin is, all the things that I didn't know before. That was like I was more into like, ooh, what's it gonna look like? Ooh, what ingredients are gonna go in it? I just was only like focused on like to make it like cute and pretty and make it look good. But as a founder,
mhm.
you it's
Put
like
in
a yeah, it's like a level up. You dive deep, and this is something that I'm trying to build, have sustainability, and have a really big brand. And I said I'm not going to use the excuse that I'm a small business and it's just me, and oh, just because it's me that means that I can't look like those other brands because it's just me. No, it's just me, and I'm gonna figure out how to look just like them, a big brand, and selling like, and even better because I'm selling products that
how
work.
do you do that? How do you do that? Is it in your decision making? It
It's
is
in my decision making. it's in me taking the time to not skip steps. That's what I was doing
Mm.
first. I was trying to find not necessarily a quick way, but like I was just like copy and pasting what I saw other brands doing online, other small businesses. Like, okay, I got a website. Okay, I got a logo.
Uh,
Okay, got a product, and I'm gonna put it in these little cute bags, but they may not be consistent. I had real branding this time. I have real branding this time. I'm
yeah.
you know it's not different. You're gonna get the same bottle every time with the same label, depending on the product that you're purchasing. It's not all. It's ran more cohesively. It has more structure. And I was like, all the other times I'm trying to like find a way, a quick way around it.
Mhm.
I was actually wasting time. So becoming a founder is really just saying,
Mm,
making the sacrifice to
yeah.
actually do it the right way, take the right necessary steps, have everything together.
Mm.
Um, first, and then build on that, because it makes the process better, easier, and the outcome is like looking, being functioning and performing like a big brand.
Do you look at yourself as like a perfectionist? Like, do things have to be perfect before you actually make a decision to pull the plug or to push something? Like, a lot of people start brands, but they never really push them. So, so it sounds like to me, you sound like a perfectionist, but like I said, a lot of people start brands, but they never actually push them. Are
I
you
wouldn't
currently
I
all in, or
I
is
wouldn't I wouldn't call myself a I wouldn't call myself a perfectionist. I would say I am more the person that has to have like all of like the details in place for me to execute something. It has to like make sense. I have to like, because like I said, I used to do things like wrong. So
how
like
do
I'm
you
like,
know when it's perfect? How do
I
you
wouldn't say perfect. I just feel
don't
like I
have a
follow
moment?
like normal business structure. Like
Mhm.
just so what I
What's
learned is,
normal business structure?
so you have your brand strategy, you
Mhm.
have brand guidelines, so that's how your brand is going to sound when people are reading it. That's what it's going to look like every time they see it. That's how it's going to make them feel, the purpose, the mission of your brand and what you're selling. You have, like, I'm learning like, okay, a profit margin, because like I'm gonna be honest, when I had my old business, I was just making up prices. Like I
Mhm.
wasn't factoring how much I was really spending on products to get that actual final number of what my price was going to be for my products. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, sometimes I make money and sometimes I don't. I didn't
Mhm.
want to doubt, that's not a real business. So I had to even figure that out. I had to figure out like what that even was, like pricing, learning how to have an inventory system. I didn't have that before. I had to learn that,
Yeah.
what that actually meant. Having SKUs, didn't know I had to have those either, but now I do. That's a part of your inventory system. Even minor admin stuff that we over, bookkeeping. Oh my God. Like right now it's just me. So guess what? I need to figure that out too. Figure that out. Um, just all these little minuscule things that come together to
Right.
make a real brand, to let it run and function like a real brand is what separates me, I feel like, from the creator. I
Structure.
run Yeah, I
Right.
run it like that now.
So are you all in now?
I
Looking
would say
at
I'm all in now, but I wasn't prior. It was weird. Like I was so proud of myself. I launched this brand and everything, and then mental health just went dark. It went dark. I'm still trying to figure that part out. I had just a
was it
season.
because you put so much into the brand, or was this personal?
It was a little bit of both. It was being feeling like let down by the team that I had that, didn't follow through on a lot of things. So a lot of things like that I wasn't supposed to, like, because I had finally, like, also too had to let my guard down for these people to help me, right? It's just like you said, this is your baby, this is your brand. So I had to first learn how to do that. When I first got into that accelerator program, I had to like, okay, I need to let these people do what they're professionally, know to do. I don't know
Or be
this
a
stuff.
founder, not just a creator. Right.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay. So I had finally, kind of let that guard down and try and take, because I can be controlling. I wouldn't say I'm perfectionist. I'm more controlling. Like I'll just do it because I don't want you to mess it up, or I don't want you to it not to be how it's supposed to be, how I envision it. So I'm gonna just do it myself.
But you're
I
not like that anymore, or you still are?
No, I don't feel like I'm like that anymore. I feel like my issue is finding and hiring good work. You know, people that want to follow through and do a good job and do what you've paid them to do. That B2B is kind of it's a struggle out here. You got
Okay.
it's so saturated with like these coaches where they talk you in circles and try to sell you a class, and you don't know like who to trust, what professionals to trust, and you got to like really kind of do some digging and do your research before you try to like, hire, whether it be like a freelancer or a team. It's just
I get it. I get it. I get
it's
it.
a lot. Like,
So,
so when I finally let
so
my guard down, they didn't
this
follow through
answer,
basically.
this goes into my next question though.
Okay.
How do you deal with feeling stuck? What's your plan to get the momentum again?
Mm, to be still.
Mm, mm-hmm,
I'm just still. Like I just I try not to consume.
mm-hmm.
Um and I just kind of get just inside myself. I feel like, and just me and God. Um,
Do you see yourself as a businesswoman now, or are you still becoming one?
I feel like I'm still becoming one, but I feel like I have grown a lot.
Okay.
Yes, I feel like I have more confidence than I've had.
How do you balance taking care of yourself while building something for others?
Therapy,
Mhm.
therapy. Allowing my man to pour into me and I pour into him. Having just kind of like
Support.
support. Yeah, support. Family. But I call myself a little loner. I am a little loner, but I do have my people. I have my
Mhm.
village, but I essentially I'm a loner. I isolate, but I don't do it in a bad way. That's just me. I need to get it needs to be quiet. It needs to be just me.
Well, what's something about being a startup founder nobody prepared you for?
Whew. The stages, like the stages of rounds that you have to go through, and like you have to do it yourself. Like once somebody invests into your business and you are given a pre-seed of funds, like normally a pre-seed is like 50K to 150K.
Hmm.
And so that is for the post, or excuse me, pre-launch phase. That's product development all the way to launch. Then you have post-launch, where after you've launched, but you're still in early growth stage. So that's what I'm in now. I'm a year in basically.
So, are you
And
still connected with them in some type of way? Like, do you have to pay it back, or is this just like a free grant?
it depends. Like it depends. All accelerators are different. So when you get you have some where you have to pay them back. You have some where they get like a portion of equity in your business once you make a revenue and make a profit. You have ones where they're just grants, and so um, mine's is a mixture of like a grant. Most majority of it is a grant, and the other part of it is like it I have to pay it back, but you get like a long time, like almost like 10 years, and they go off of like they average it based off like your annual revenue, and then
Mhm.
they break it up, and then you you don't like shoot, I don't have to pay it back, I don't think, until like next year. I would have to look at that, but it's beneficial to you. It's not like
Recommend
a
this for other
traditional
businesses?
loan.
Would you recommend this for other startup businesses to take advantage of something like this?
Absolutely, I'm looking for more funding right now. But what I will say is, when you come across things like accelerator programs who are offering pre-seed funding, just make sure that you get everything that was agreed upon. Like all of the things that are supposed to be provided to you before you get offboarded.
Mm.
Um, to really take full advantage of the opportunity.
Mhm.
And then I also say, like, if you don't notice that they're not offering like financial literacy, to either a ask or like seek that first, because we're a lot of the times you're getting this lump sum of money. You've never had that much lump sum of money all at once
Mm-hmm.
in your life, and so you want to make sure like you know what it's supposed to be broken up into spent like and be spent on, because like you can't just spend the funds like all willy nilly. You can't just be like, I'm about to go, I don't know, let's go take 10 vacations. Like you can't do that. That's illegal.
Right, right,
So you
right.
want to make sure you have like your money broken up into percentages, like 30% goes going to go to marketing,
Yeah.
uh
Do they
40%.
have control over how you spend the funds, or is that something that you are in control of?
That's your responsibility. Like now, it's nice when like there's some accelerator programs out there that yes they are going to tell you exactly how to spend that, and they're
Okay.
going to hold your hand. But then you got some programs where it's like, here you go, you're the
Okay.
business owner. You know what I'm saying? So it's like at the end of the day, it's your responsibility because you're the founder. Um,
You ever feel like that your healing and your business are connected? Like when one grows, the other follows, or when you're suffering in silence, your business is suffering too.
yeah, absolutely. I feel like if I'm not well, like I just it's hard to like function. So I feel like the more that's why I'm very here lately, I've just been very intentional about regulating my nervous system, unpacking things that I suppress, going to therapy, trying to eat a little more balanced than I'm supposed, than I normally do. Just slowing down, taking a moment, like just yeah, it's imperative,
Mhm.
honestly. It's it's imperative, yes. Until I have like a team where when if I do have those seasons where I just
Yeah.
am on a
You,
journey. It's
yeah.
still running, but be like what like me just kind of like being like burnt out how I just was for
Mhm.
6 months,
Mhm.
7 months, like that pushed me. I'm like out of that. I feel like I'm out of the what I call like the survival mode of that.
Yeah.
But it also taught me. I like to like observe and see like, what did this situation, what did this season teach me? And it was to like, okay, this may come up again. How will you make sure that this stays functional, your business stays running and going,
Yeah.
regardless, because it
I love
has to,
that.
it just has to.
Yeah, that's a huge wake up call for a lot of small business owners is, setting up their operations to still run without them. And I know that you're the face of the brand, and sometimes, it's very difficult when you are the face of the brand, and that's what I was talking about separating yourself from being the founder and being the creator, and especially for a woman. But I mean, how do you keep believing in your vision when it feels quiet or slow? Like,
I don't, I literally am still trying to figure that out
hmm,
because I've been asked that before. I just don't want to say, I don't have a true answer for that, because I'm gonna just say like, and people be like, what? But I like really just feel like it's just gonna work out. Like I'm just,
so when you feel low,
yeah.
when you feel down,
Hmm.
you feel like, okay, I'm just gonna give up on my business. I don't care about anything, or because you're building something essentially for women that that's battling their nervous system, and they're battling because this is the cause of the PCOS. And how do you show up for them? And how will you continue to show up for them?
What I learned now is in order to show up for everyone else, I have to show up for myself. And
Mm,
I thought I was doing that before, but I really wasn't doing it when I sat back and just kind of observed myself and just self reflected. I'm like, I always say, I joke and say, I'm a recovering people pleaser.
mm,
And I am learning to like say no.
mm,
These are and things like this seem so simple and so minor, but it's not. It's really like deep. That
mhm,
really changes a lot of things when you are learning to say no and learning to Be okay with being a disappointment and putting yourself first, and implementing certain habits and things that work, and routines that gonna keep me aligned with, like, just being like a have structure. When I notice when I don't have structure, when I don't feel balanced, I feel overwhelmed and all over the place. I can't
Mm,
think. I don't have clarity. And so I'm procrastinating, or my energy may be depleted because I'm just mentally exhausted. And
mm,
so I looked at all of that and I'm like, all right, I'm tired of feeling like this. I'm tired of, just having these habits that keep me stagnant. I need something different. How can I do that? So that's what I have been doing. Um,
that's
to
interesting.
Yeah.
Um, so that leads into my next question. What's next for Ramona Skin? New products, new direction, new you? Because with all of this that you've shared, it looks like that you could. I know you say you have a 4-step skincare regimen, but it sounds like to me that Ramona's skin could actually benefit from actually including in that 4-step regimen some type of guide to help women to maintain their mental the mental pressure and all of that of the world, and all that pressure just that the world puts on women in general, like what actually starts the PCOS, and not just the outside. Of course, we all
Mm-hmm.
use skincare products; they help, yes, but it sounds like Ramona Skin is brewing up a new product out there. So, what's next for Ramona Skin?
I would say maybe, but okay. So that's why I say Ramona is more than just a skincare brand, because I online our platforms online, right? Our Instagrams, our TikToks, our platforms online, and we instead of just showing you the skincare, right?
Mhm.
I use my platform to also educate
Mm,
the why. So we're starting from the basics. Hormone health. Okay, what's a hormone cycle? A lot
mm,
of women are just now in their 30s and 40s and 50s discovering that, oh, we have 4 phases of a hormone cycle. We were only taught our period, our
mm,
menstrual cycle in
mm,
school. And so this awareness that's becoming very popular, I love. And women are now being able to have an understanding of how their body functions,
mhm,
which they're able to start to connect those dots. So
mm.
I always constantly making sure that I am promoting education through my products, hormone health, and then giving, outside of the skincare, I'm giving you tips that you can use in your day-to-day life, different
Do you have
habits and
a book
lifestyle.
or
So like the
something?
way you eat, I'm
Is there
very focused. Say that again.
is there a book
Is there
or
a book?
guide, or it's just general information that you're sharing?
This is not general. I wouldn't say this is general information. This is like, basically, I like, after doing my own research or whatever, I realize I'm like, it's just so much information everywhere that people get confused and they don't know where to start. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all the shit that's real, that actually works, and I'm gonna put it into social media platforms, and I'm going to be creative about that, a way for people to learn and get it to actually stick with them, to where they're actually doing this in real life, and it's just simple and digestible, because people have busy lives and people have things going on, but they still should make their health and their wellness like the forefront, of their life. And a lot of times people, it's hard for people to stick to things and consistency. So I try to make sure, hey, these are the things you should be doing. This is the why behind it.
Mhm.
And here is what you can do in your personal life. And here is a skincare product to help, uh, topically, while the tips and the education I'm giving you are helping you internally. So where you have just like a
Right.
full harmony,
Mhm.
just hormone harmony.
Which makes Ramona unique because
Yeah.
you're not only just trying to put lipstick on a pig, I call it, but you're actually helping them and guiding them on the root cause of the issue. So that's why I was asking, is there a book that you have maybe that women could probably,
Well, I
go
have my blog. My blogs are online. So
okay.
a lot of the times it's a full, all my blogs are online, But
Mm.
I'm taking that blog and I break it down into short form content for people to see as well online on social media.
How
But
often
essentially on my
update?
website there are full blogs that people can go and check and read and save and refer back to anytime they like. It's a big resource library for hormone education.
Okay, okay. How often is this updated, or is it just out there?
It's just out there. I would say I try to do. I believe I have two blogs there on there now, but what the goal is to have a monthly blog where
So
we discuss
subscription to.
a certain topic within PCOS or hormone health. Whether that be eating for your hormones is a big one that I like to do because that I mean essentially it starts with what you eat. Um, and then because a lot of the times a lot of the knowledge and tips that are given online don't really necessarily work help women with PCOS. They have to do things in a very unique way because there's so many factors and it's so layered. Like you have women who have like insulin resistant PCOS,
Can it
and
be
so you can't tell them that they need to go do like 30 minutes of cardio. No, that doesn't work for them because then that's going to shoot their
cured?
cortisol levels up.
Can this
Whereas
be cured? Can PCOS be cured?
I feel like it can, but of course we're in the Western world, so the answer would be no. But it is. I feel like it can be yes.
Okay. Okay. So this leads to my next question. If someone's listening tonight has an idea sitting in their notes, what would you tell them to do next?
I mean, you got to just get rid of all the excuses and the mindset of like lack and scarcity and the
Mm.
fear. You got to get over the fear and then start. Like that literally there's no like magic. There's like I hate when people like try to like fill things with like motivational fluff. It's like bullshit because like essentially you have to be ready to start whatever you want to start. So I
Mhm,
don't you can watch 1,000 motivational TED talks. You
mhm,
know what I'm saying? It's up to you. And so and have fun, like make it a fun thing. Like what I did when I was like I kind of made it like a kind of like a game. Like I'm like, okay, so all right, well, in order to do this I need to figure out what is a brand identity. I had fun figuring out what that was and learning about that. Actually enjoyed learning all of the different parts that make a business. I
interesting.
started there and then put it all together,
That
connected all the dots.
I love that.
Yeah, and still connect. There's a lot like I told my cousin Paige, I'm like, I had my aha moment. It was this answer that I could not figure out for a year straight. I did not understand it. And
Whoa.
it was like with buyer personas. I was like, what the hell is a buyer persona? Like everywhere that I was like, trying to learn it, it just kept going like, you got to create your ideal target person. Well, how the hell do I do that? Like that was really I was pissed like for a year straight. And it
Mhm,
randomly clicked like, oh, okay. And so then I'm like, that's how I market.
mhm.
That's how I gotta talk to my customer. This is how it connected everything I needed to like connect. And a lot of people don't even know what that is. Like, but a buyer persona, that's how you figure out who your target audience is.
Right,
You get a lot of people saying like, oh, you just look at your data. Well, people are starting from nothing, so they don't have the data.
right.
So learning like what a buyer persona is, who your target audience is, and then building strategy
Mhm,
from these ideologies will
mhm,
help you actually scale and make sales in your business consistently and build a real brand. And it's like the brand is building itself for you because you have this to like refer back to each time. And then you test it out and you people taking a liking to this type of brand messaging. Okay, well then this is that type of buyer persona. All right, boom. Then you say, okay, well this one's not performing well. I wonder why. You tweak that, you go back, you start sharing that type of buyer persona more and you see who's like navigating towards that type of brand messaging. It's kind of like it's kind of like a I don't know, like when you're as a parent, you don't have a book. It's just kind of like you learning as you go
right, right, right.
and you got to put your all into it and you have to forever be intentional about it. I mean, like even like raising kids is like the best thing ever in life. Like that's what and so
Mhm.
I feel like that's like next to that, like something when you're building something that you're passionate about.
We just go for it and make it fun.
Yeah, just go for it.
Yeah.
And then also like
because there's no book.
Ignore everybody, ignore anybody that doesn't understand. Like, chalk it up as people may not just understand or have the capacity to understand your vision at the level that they are at mentally. That's okay. Don't allow that to discourage you. Don't, and then be careful who you like share stuff with, not because, not in a negative way, but you just know you have those type of certain people where you share this because they're going to understand it, and they're not going to make you feel like insecure or like
Right,
unsure,
right,
you
right,
know,
right.
kind of
So
like a, yeah, it's sacred. Yeah.
that leads into my next question, and we're, two questions into wrapping it up. But what's your confession as a businesswoman? Something you've never said out loud about this journey,
Mm,
and be totally honest.
this shit is ghetto as hell. I like.
Something you've never, a confession as a businesswoman, something you've never said out loud about your journey.
mm, I would say, I'm trying to think, like, I'm trying to be mindful, but still be
No,
honest.
no, no. Because you would want someone to be honest with you,
Yeah.
especially when you're a startup business. I mean, you still have, people that you have to look up to, that
Mhm.
you get advice from. So, you know, talking to your startup self, yourself who had an idea, yourself who got diagnosed, yourself, that self, like, going through and thinking about all the things that you've been through that brought you where you are today as a businesswoman, a confession, something that you've never actually said out loud about this journey.
Okay. Mm, I feel like okay. I'll say this. I didn't feel like a founder the like the whole time I was building Ramona. I
Mm-hmm.
actually like I actually lost confidence. I feel like an imposter. Um, People would like congratulate me on launching and winning funding and being in the program and stuff, and I'd smile, but inside, like, I was drowning, and I was very, very, very. I was more unsure than I wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
but I never like said that out like out loud. I actually only have shared that with my man. Like, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's understandable. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of entrepreneurs, they still show up. And see, to me, that's awesome that, you know, you still show up for people because your brand is about people, and to still show up. And these are the things that make people respect you as a founder, because no matter what you go through, you still are human at the end of the day, and you still show up with a smile on your face, creating formulas and still giving other people a reason to smile. And that is what brings you back to believing that, okay, I am worthy of being the founder of Ramona, you know? And
Hmm.
thank you for sharing that. That was huge for sure, because I'm telling you, a lot of business owners feel this way. It doesn't matter if you're a quadrillionaire, or like, or if you are a startup, like everybody feels that way at some point. But what's one thing you've learned about yourself through building this business?
That all the things that I learned in my 20s, because I'm 31 now, all the habits, all the ways of how I survived and went through life
Hmm.
cannot come with me in year 31. I'm 31. It cannot come with me if I want to be on the other side of what God has for me. Like, literally. Like, you know how sometimes you be like, okay, but can I have this? God, it's gonna be all right. Just let me. Nope. Like, I see the quotes and I see people talking about that, and
Hmm.
it's nothing until you actually like have gone through that, like, where, I mean, I feel like I got broken all the way down.
Hmm.
Like, I didn't even know myself.
Mhm.
Like literally lost my identity,
Mhm.
lost my confidence,
Mhm.
lost my trust in my I lost trust in myself. I'm still repairing that, like trusting myself,
Mhm.
getting over the second guessing, um, because there were people that I worked with in the program that gaslit me a little bit, a lot
Mhm.
when they didn't follow through on their work. There were times where I got gaslit. And so when you get gaslit and you get told like, oh no, it's you and this is why, when you're like, okay, you're insulting my intelligence, this is actually what's going on. But still over time you get to be like, okay, is it me? Am I,
Mhm.
you know? And so that is another thing too, like just because somebody's hired to do business for you doesn't mean they gonna do it.
Yeah.
Even if they getting paid. I had
Yeah.
to learn that too,
Yeah.
you
So when
know.
you look back 5 years from now, what do you hope this moment right now represents? Or you know what? Let me rephrase that. Where do you see yourself as the founder of Ramona Skin? Where do you see Ramona? Because I don't even want to say Ramona Skin because Ramona is a big ass wellness brand. Okay,
Okay, okay.
where do
Ramona.
we see Ramona in 5 years?
So Ramona in 5 years, I will say just I can just see my big warehouse. I
Hmm.
have a full like legitimate like formulating like system, like where I have all the cool like automatic machines and where it's like squirting like how
Yeah, yeah,
like the
yeah.
old like cereal factories and stuff, like where they have all this like electronical like conveyor belts and stuff like that. I feel like I
That's
see myself doing like big collabs with big box brands. um I just see me being able to afford to hire a small team of people, like
small
a
team or big team.
marketing. What'd you say?
Small team or big team.
Small team. I feel like you can get a lot of things done and executed with a small team. I don't feel like you always need a big team.
Okay.
Like 5 people, I feel like is can really make some like stuff shake. Can really be an industry disruptor.
Are you ready to trust them?
No, no,
Okay.
hell no. I'm about to
So,
say, I see why Miranda Priestley act like Miranda Priestley. You remember on Devils Wear Prada? She was mean as hell. I said, I'm gonna have to be a shark like her or something.
oh my God, don't be a crazy boss, Taylor. Okay, so that's going to actually wrap up our episode tonight on Nia Talk Business. Taylor, you were amazing tonight. And I feel like that everything you've shared, it was a much needed conversation because sometimes it's not about being the biggest, it's about being brave enough to just begin. We all have ideas, um, but we all don't have a clear vision. But to actually have that vision and to have that idea and to actually plan, but to execute is a whole nother level. And I just want to say a huge thank you to you, Taylor, the founder of Ramona Wellness Brand, for sitting down with me and reminding us that growth doesn't always look glamorous. Sometimes it looks like patience, persistence, and faith, and just believing in yourself and showing up for others even when we don't show it for ourselves. If this episode sparks something in you, share it with another person who has an idea, or somebody that you may see that could possibly be something huge. Because a lot of us, we see people out there that have it but may not see it in themselves. So don't forget, your idea is already happening. I'm your host, Nia, and this is Nia Talk Business. And remember, vision, idea, plan, fucking execute. Until next time.